Donk market. Wait, I want to make sure it's using my correct audio.
All right, yeah, I already I already just pressed play, so it's fine. As I'm sure you can hear, we have Zach on the show today, as promised, because we, among other things, are going to talk stonks. That's what that's what it is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it really has been a remarkable process to see you over, like, literally. I think like Wednesday morning, you're like, I might throw a little money into BlackBerry, and then now you're just like, hold the line. Like, it really
Oh
has
yeah,
been.
hold the line, baby.
It's been an incredible past few days. We did our last show kind of on Wednesday Wednesday night or Tuesday night actually, when this stuff was really all just beginning. So Zach, if you could, let's just start having you like catch us up on the past 2 days of trading with this kind of insane concept that we talked about in detail in the last show of all these shorted stocks, GameStop, Costs, Tootsie Roll, Nokia,
All right, so let's see. Tuesday night. So obviously the squeeze had already started. I'm looking right now on Yahoo Finance. At Tuesday, it was around, let's see, what did it close out on Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday was actually the big day. So Tuesday closed around 1:45, and that's when this whole thing really started to pick up steam. If you remember, Tuesday afternoon was the day that Elon Musk tweeted about it.
Yeah.
So on Tuesday it closed at 145, and I think after hours it was like 290 or 260 or something. So definitely the pressure was turning on. I believe that was also the day that Melvin Capital lied to CNBC and said that they closed out their positions. Let's see.
Yeah, I believe that was like Wednesday morning, yeah.
Wednesday, 6 a.m., Melvin Capital Hedge Fund targeted closes out GameStop short positions, which is a lie. They still did not close out their position. So, yeah, so that's when they lied about it. So, yeah, and then basically it opened like up 100%. Wednesday morning, it opened at 300, and then oh my God, so much has happened. I'm like trying to get my head straight. So it was just like a pretty hype day on Wednesday. Went all the way up to I think the max was almost around $500. 468 was
Yeah.
peak that day, and then after hours trading was not great. Oh no, wait, I'm just kidding. Wait,
It plummeted. It plummeted coming into Thursday.
Yeah,
and
because
and then kind of plateaued because that was the insane thing.
After hours plummeted a little bit.
Yeah,
it dipped because WallStreetBets went private for a little bit.
Yeah, WallStreetBets went private, and then
actually,
the Discord
was the date up here.
Was shut down.
So today's the 29th. So Wednesday there was a low of 249 and a peak of 380, and then yesterday was a peak of 483. That was like the very start of the day. That was like the very morning. I think that was like around 10 o'clock or something like that. And then obviously TD Ameritrade started to limit trades, and then they actually ended up going back on that. But then Robinhood started restricting trades, and Webull started restricting trades.
Yeah, this was all throughout Thursday, which kind of caused the stock to plateau, right? So yeah, you had that Thursday.
Discount day. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And while we're recording this, it's at 3:13 after hour, so just down a little bit over 4% after a market close. And then at 8 o'clock today, we're going to be taking a break from trading over the weekend. Markets are going to close, and then I guess we'll see what happens. 4 a.m. Monday mornings when pre-market stuff starts up. So we'll see what people think GameStop's market cap over the weekend. Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because there was some of that same like screwing around, I guess you could say, because like the biggest thing that really like pissed people off was Robinhood and other stock, like specifically Robinhood though, kind of the worst offender. But almost every other site was like this.
Half of Robinhood users have GameStop.
Yeah, and they completely stopped trading. Then they lifted, and then they
Oh, well, they didn't
allowed
stop
only.
trading. They allow people to sell, because
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they don't care if the share price goes down. Just can't get up because their buddy Citadel can't lose any money.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, they only allow people to sell. In some cases, actually, literally sold people's stocks for them,
Yes, if
which
you
is
were buying on margin.
apparently buried deep in the terms and conditions that they can do that. Just like just for your own good, for just because of all the risk and volatility in the market, just gotta sell, just gotta sell. So then, kind of what happened was a lot of people got mad at that. We saw kind of like a almost Avengers-like moment. I hate to even like bring up the cheesy Marvel comparison, but we had like AOC, Ted Cruz, Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, all coming out and saying that this is just criminal behavior by Robinhood. And then we were introduced to Vlad, our good friend Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood. What do you think of his interview on CNBC and CNN and all that? Do you think he made a good case?
I think he's a dickhole, and I hope he gets urine cancer. I hope his blood in his piss.
Yeah. So, but like, what was the rationale there? Like, how could he even like?
He's a liar. He's just saying, okay, this is what you have to think about, right? The SEC is nothing, dude. Like, they have power, but not enough. Like, what can they possibly? They cannot possibly fine these hedge funds, or I guess in this case a brokerage, enough money that it could possibly make up for like what's happening right now. They stand to lose everything. Like, they're not gonna. There's no way the SEC is gonna fine them more than like the entire fucking assets they have. They're not gonna fine them billions of dollars for this.
And like half their customers.
Yeah. Like, they're at the point where like they'd rather take on class actions than this. It's cheaper. It's literally cheaper to just fight the class action than it is.
Why would it be cheaper? Wouldn't the best solution, all things being equal, just allow them to everything just continue uninterrupted and let the market play itself out?
No, not if you benefit from the market not playing itself out, which is what every single hedge fund who shorted GameStop.
Yeah, and because that's the other thing there. There is this whole thing that, of course, Vlad calls a conspiracy theory, but he says he is not really wanting people to highlight the connection that Robinhood has with Citadel, which is
okay, it's not a conspiracy. They literally sell. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar, Robinhood is a zero commission trading platform. Obviously. So, well, if you're Robinhood, how do you make money? Well, the answer is you sell your data to Citadel and other hedge funds who run algorithms. So, like 40% of Robinhood's money comes from Citadel. And apparently, multiple whistleblowers have come out saying that Citadel told Robinhood to, cut the cord on this.
Yeah, I saw some posts about that as well. Like, I mean, it would be very interesting to see if there's like some actual like confirmed stuff on that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, there also is like, what do you make of the case that this is the way kind of my I was talking to my dad about it. He explained that what they would do is they would just, since they lend out money to people they just didn't have enough money on hand to support all the new customers and all the new volume. But I think that's also kind of disproven because the fact they did it again today. Like, they're now limiting.
Just got $1 billion. They just got $1 billion. But yeah, well, like, they're sort of like broker dealers a little bit. Like,
because they lend people out money to start their portfolios.
Well, you're talking about margin. Yeah. Well, they could not use margin, but they're also, I think Robinhood was trying to act as like market makers a little bit. I don't really use Robinhood, so I don't know a crazy amount about it. But yeah, they needed money. Like, they couldn't pay the clearinghouse or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so that definitely was a factor. But I think what also happened today, which was very interesting, is what they're now like limiting. You can only hold like 3 shares of GameStop.
No.
What's
you
going
can
on
only
with that?
buy 1 share if you don't have any shares.
So like, how is that like? How is that like? I don't get how that's understandable or like acceptable in any way. Like,
well, like by itself, I don't think it's like a crime, but if you're like colluding to manipulate the market to save people who pay you, that is a crime.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. Like I think
like in
they can do it for like volatility reasons or whatever, but
yeah.
like every reason they say they do is just lies. Like they're just trying to protect Citadel and shit.
Yeah, so where do you
Also,
see?
like don't believe anything. Honestly, like okay, yeah, Reddit, like take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But I'm not gonna believe anything that like I read on CNBC or like what Citadel says.
Yeah, and nor should you. Like it's really been incredible to see how all these big media outlets have come out and tried to cast the people on Reddit as like
Yeah,
dangerous, like anti-Semitic Nazis,
yeah.
like people who
Fuck
stormed the
that. I'm part
Capitol.
of this, dude. I'm
Like,
fucking Jewish. I haven't seen a single person talk about Jewish people. I've been on the forum like 24/7. It's fucking bullshit.
yeah,
They're
there's
trying
just
to smear everyone, dude.
yeah, that is the common theme, and I think it's
We're beating
very
them at their own
interesting.
game. This
I
is
think
why I
it's
want to see them fucking bleed. This is why I fucking hold, dude.
this
I'll
is
literally never sell.
this is the rhetoric that I would never have expected from Zach in a million years. But it
Zero or infinity, dude.
all yeah. So like, where does this go from here? Like, what is the plan? What is the thinking on the Wall Street Bet subreddit as to what happens over the next week? For
Well,
example.
Walshy, that's a great question. So, what's gonna happen is something called the gamma squeeze, where the market makers need to hedge their calls by buying shares to lessen their exposure. And when they buy that, it's going to push up the price, which should happen soon when the options kick in. Another thing that's going to happen is the short interest on GameStop is still over 100%. It's only gone down
So
20% from
so
140
that
to
means like
120.
people are still like all these hedge funds are still heavily shorting GameStop.
Yes, even more. And as I've heard, I'm sure you've heard, Citadel has apparently increased their short position on GameStop.
Yeah, so they're doubling down. So
Yeah.
they think is it possible they have like something up their sleeve to be like, hey,
Yeah, I
we're gonna
mean,
pull the
being
plug.
criminals. Well, they'll do something. Well, I've been saying this to people all day. If the SEC halts trading on GameStop for 30 days, I'm going down to Wall Street and protesting. I mean, that's like worst case scenario. But unless that happens, I don't know because they still have not covered their positions. It's still shorted over
What is that? What
100%.
does that mean? Cover the
Okay,
positions
so
for.
basically, if you're shorting a stock, right? You go to your broker, your prime broker, if you're a hedge fund, and you borrow shares. Well, in this case, they actually didn't borrow shares. They did something called a naked short, which is where you sell stock that you don't have. It's technically illegal, but of course, they're not going to
Yeah,
follow the law.
that's hedge funds just
Anyway,
like play around with other people's money. Like
so
that's the
yeah,
big
when you're
part of it.
short selling, you borrow the stock, you sell it hoping it'll go down. Well, if you, let's say, you spend $100 on because you want to short a stock and each share is worth $1. Okay, so you sell 100 shares of the stock and now you have $100. Well, if the shares that are $1 go up to $100, well, you still owe the broker a hundred shares, correct? But well,
Yeah, but the
now it's
100
worth a
shares are
hundred
worth.
thousand dollars. So now your initial investment, or I don't know if that math's right. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Whatever.
I think it's
So
right.
it's uncapped basically, but obviously their broker still owed the shares. Well, in this case, the brokers still have not gotten their shares, so people are still owed money. At some point, the broker's gonna have to cut their losses, or yeah, I mean
Yeah, it's
they're
gonna.
going to have to close eventually.
So for that, as for that margin call thing, like what
Yes.
was you mentioned like the big Melvin Capital, like they were the first people who really lost big on this, and you said they were going to like margin called, and that would be
Yeah.
so they
Well,
would have
that's
to
kind
like
of something different. Well, that's like when you purchase on margin, which is like leveraging your money. It like okay, right. So if you use margin, that means you have $1, and let's say you leverage 100% of it. So now you have twice the buying power, right? Okay. Well, if you buy $2,000 worth of stock, right? And then it's originally worth $2,000 and now it's worth like 1,000, you lost more money than your original investment. So like they'll make you pay up the difference.
and Friday would have been the day or today would have been the day where they had to pay. Like, do we know how that went
It's
today?
not okay. So because they're a hedge fund and not like a mutual fund or like an ETF or whatever,
Hmm.
we don't know. Like hedge funds